When the final rays of daylight fade and the world slips into shadow, the comforting hum of everyday life begins to dissolve, leaving behind an unsettling silence. The familiar walls of home, so full of warmth and laughter in the presence of others, seem to tighten and loom, casting strange shapes into the corners where the light cannot quite reach. Tonight, as you lie in your bed and the wind rattles gently against the window, let your mind drift through 3 tales, 3 home-alone horrors whispered by sinister smiles, each one a chilling reminder that sometimes solitude is not as safe as it seems. The first story is called The Whispering Stairs. It begins in a quaint 2-story house nestled on the edge of a suburban neighborhood. Its owner, a young woman named Emily, cherished her private evenings after long days at work. She relished the peace, the chance to unwind and let the world slip away. On this particular night, the rain fell steadily outside, beating a rhythmic pattern against the windows. Emily curled up on the couch with a mug of tea, listening to the storm and letting her mind wander. As midnight approached, she decided to go to bed. She flicked off the lights downstairs and ascended the creaking wooden staircase, her footsteps echoing in the silent darkness. Halfway up, she paused, struck by a strange sensation, a prickling along her neck, the feeling of being watched. She glanced back, seeing nothing but shadows pooling at the bottom of the steps. With a nervous laugh, Emily continued upward, telling herself it was just nerves, just the storm. She reached the 2nd floor and stepped into her bedroom, closing the door behind her. The rain drummed harder now, and distant thunder rolled. Emily settled beneath her blankets, letting the warmth soothe her. Soon, she drifted into a light sleep, but somewhere in the depth of the night, a sound awoke her. A whisper, almost imperceptible, rising up from the stairs. "Emily," it breathed, so soft she could have imagined it. She lay frozen, her heart thudding. The whisper came again, this time clearer, a voice she did not recognize. "Emily, come down." She clutched her blankets, staring at the closed door. The house was silent, save for the rain. Had she locked the door downstairs? She tried to recall, but her mind was foggy with sleep and fear. The whisper grew louder, more insistent. "Emily." She forced herself to rise and tiptoe to the bedroom door, pressing her ear to the wood. The voice was closer now, echoing up the stairs. She could hear footsteps, a slow, deliberate climb. She wanted to scream, to call for help, but the words stuck in her throat. She backed away, searching for something to defend herself, but found only her phone. She dialed the police, her trembling fingers barely able to keep hold of the device. The operator answered, and Emily whispered her address, voice shaking. The footsteps stopped. The whisper faded. Silence fell over the house, thick and suffocating. Minutes stretched like hours until finally, flashing lights cast strange patterns against her curtains. The police found nothing but muddy footprints trailing from the back door to the stairwell. Footprints that did not belong to Emily. She never spent another night alone in that house, haunted by the memory of the voice that called her name from the darkness, forever wondering what might have happened if she had answered. The second tale is The Reflection. In a small apartment high above the city streets, a college student named Marcus found himself alone for the weekend. His roommate had gone home to visit family, leaving Marcus to his studies and the quiet. He welcomed the solitude, planning to catch up on assignments and enjoy the rare peace. As evening fell, Marcus sat at his desk, bathed in the glow of his laptop screen, surrounded by the gentle hum of appliances. The only window in the room offered a view of the city lights and his own reflection, ghostly and pale against the glass. Hours passed. The city outside grew darker, quieter. Marcus glanced at the window, noting how his reflection seemed to shimmer in the dim light. Something about it unsettled him. A slight difference in posture, a tilt of the head that did not match his own. He shrugged it off, blaming fatigue, and returned to his work. But every time he glanced at the window, his reflection seemed to change, growing more distinct, more solid. It smiled when he did not. It blinked a fraction of a second too late. Marcus stood and walked to the window, pressing his palm against the cold glass. His reflection mimicked the movement, but its eyes lingered, staring back with a hungry intensity. He tried to look away, but the reflection's smile widened, sharp and unnatural. Suddenly, a cold breath fogged the glass from the other side. Marcus stumbled back, heart pounding, as the reflection reached out, its hand flattening against the window, the fingers longer, twisted. It mouthed words Marcus could not hear, its lips moving in a silent chant. He grabbed his phone, dialing his roommate, desperate for another voice, another presence. The reflection continued to watch him, moving independently now, its eyes darting around the room, its mouth stretching into a grotesque grin. Marcus fled to the bathroom, locking the door and turning on every light. He pressed his ear to the door, listening for movement, for the sound of shattering glass. Minutes passed in tense silence. Eventually, Marcus heard his roommate's voice in the hallway, calling his name. He rushed out, desperate.